How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be diving into part 7 of What If Goku Remembered the Saiyans. We finally hit that point in the story where Dragon Ball Z is about to start, and as many of you have noticed, the first few arcs of Z already happened much earlier than they were supposed to, with the Saiyans already coming to Earth and Frieza already being defeated, which leaves a pretty big time jump from the defeat of King Piccolo to the androids, meaning we're moving into a pretty big time skip. Before we get into that though, if you want to have some cool conversations with me, or want to see amazing pictures of me, make sure to follow me on Instagram over at Damon Is Here, I guess. Or if you want to chat with others who like Dragon Ball and this channel, join the Discord server, which is linked down below. This new server icon was created recently by SCS, or Damon's Damon on there, so thanks a bunch. If you have any fan art, you can include that there too, and maybe have it featured in a future video. So if that sounds cool to you guys, make sure you join the server. With all that out of the way, let's get right into today's video. Shortly after the death of King Piccolo, Kami emerges from the hyperbolic time chamber and discusses with the Saiyans what happened. Bardock explains that the demon Namekian was killed by Raditz, but before he died, he spit out an egg, meaning he had a child. They should probably go kill that child, that way he doesn't turn into a threat. Kami tells him that's not a good idea, since he's connected with Piccolo, and if one dies, then the other will as well. And if Kami dies, then the Dragon Balls will be no more, and who knows when they're going to need them again. Bardock asks what they should do then, as they can't just let the kid run around wreaking havoc. Kami senses for the child, and while he can sense some evil intent, it's mostly all pure. He can sense multiple unique powers inside of the young Piccolo, and a lot of good, way more than evil. Why is that? Kami goes down and collects the young Piccolo, and begins to talk with him. Piccolo still has anger towards Kakarot for killing his father, but that anger is justified. He only wants to kill Kakarot, not anybody else. He has too much good in him due to all of the Namekians that the Demon King absorbed. It seems good overwhelmed evil once the new Piccolo was born, so he's not going to be evil anymore. All he needs is just some good influences and a proof to the Namekian that his father definitely deserved what he got. Piccolo is still a little angry at Kakarot, but once he gets to know him, and once he finds out how bad his father really was, he'll come around. Piccolo stays on the lookout and trains with Kami and the others. Kakarot is also excited to train with the new Piccolo, as he has immense power, even greater than his father's. This just gets Kakarot riled up, and he mainly sticks to the lookout to help Kami train Piccolo. Back on Earth, the Saiyans rebuild their castle after it was destroyed by Piccolo. King Vegeta is still dead, and since he was revived by the Dragon Balls once already, he's not able to come back. The Saiyans need a new ruler, and it's only natural that the next step to be king is Vegeta. Vegeta undergoes his coronation and becomes the new king of all Saiyans. The new King Vegeta is obviously happy that he's finally able to become king, but he doesn't feel that he deserves the title. He wasn't able to kill the Namekian that killed his father, and he wasn't able to kill Frieza either, who enslaved the Saiyans himself. To be the true King Vegeta, he has to be able to protect his race from threats like this again. And he needs to protect his newborn son, Trunks. Yep, Trunks has been born much earlier due to Bulma and Vegeta getting together way earlier. With Vegeta being the new king, Bulma is now the queen of all Saiyans, with Trunks being the new prince. Bulma is of course happy with being a queen, and with their marriage, Capsule Corp has basically merged with the Saiyan Empire. Meaning the Saiyans have access to the Capsule Corp tech, such as improved scouters, and access to the gravity chambers, making all of the Saiyans much more powerful with all the training that they've been doing in the chamber. Vegeta trains in the gravity chamber constantly since he wants his power increased greatly to defend his family and his race. He remembers Bardock's idea of combining the Wrathful form with the Super Saiyan transformation, which gave them access to the Wrathful Super Saiyan form. Maybe he can attempt to do the same thing with the Wrathful Super Saiyan form, and the Super Saiyan God form. If he's able to combine both of these forms, then he'll gain extreme boosts in power and become the strongest living Saiyan. Everybody continues going about their training and their lives, and we move forward in time by 5 years. On the lookout, Piccolo has grown up and has gotten much stronger through training with Kami and Kakarot. Kakarot's also managed to unlock the Super Saiyan Blue transformation in this time, as he already knew the Super Saiyan form. So he tried to combine it with his God form, and surprisingly, it worked, which created the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan transformation. With this new power unlocked, Piccolo is able to get even better training himself, boosting his power tremendously as well. Now, even though Kakarot is Super Saiyan Blue now, he's not anywhere near the level of the canon Super Saiyan Blue Goku. This is decades before he got the form in canon, so he'd obviously be much weaker. I'd say to compare, Kakarot in Blue at this point is on the level of power that Fat Buu was. This is still extremely powerful, especially at this point in the story, but it's still not as strong as his Blue canon self. Piccolo would most likely be on par with Kakarot, and maybe a little stronger too. Kami has of course gotten much stronger, but his old age slowed him down from competing with the two. Luckily though, Kami gathered up the Dragon Balls and used them just to wish for youth, That way he could actually get stronger himself and not to slow Kakarot and Piccolo down. In between visits down on the surface, Chi-Chi caught up with Kakarot and took him up on the marriage proposal, so the two of them still get married and have Gohan. Gohan would have enormous potential now, since he was born with having godly ki, which puts him in a league above everybody else if he trained himself hard enough. Now you're probably wondering why I decided to move forward 5 years and not 11, which is when the Android Saga would take place. Well, that's because the androids are going to be coming much earlier than normal. Remember back in Part 3, Vegeta and Raditz destroyed the Red Ribbon HQ, so Gero would want revenge on those two. The reason why he's shown up so early is because the technology of the Saiyans and the supplies he's gotten from Capsule Corp have drastically increased the android production, and he's managed to transform himself into a much more powerful android. Him along with 19 have grown extremely powerful after collecting newer technologies from the Saiyans, and he's monitored their new transformations, so he's now got some form of god ki inside of himself as well. The two androids first head off to Bardock's home to get revenge on Raditz, and while these androids are extremely powerful, they're no match for two Super Saiyan Blues. Yep, Raditz and Bardock managed to access the blue form in this time as well. Sure, Gero and 19 are on god level, and can use energy absorption technologies, but this is no match for the Saiyans, as they're just leagues ahead of the androids now. And even with the energy absorption, they stand no chance. Even if they manage to get their energy absorbed, Kakarot, Piccolo, and Kami could come down and easily work together to take them out. The androids would then be taken out right there, with basically no difficulty. Sorry Gero, your average technology isn't going to be effective against alien gods now. The threat of the androids is stopped with literally no troubles, and life continues on. 17, 18, and 16 are still locked up in Gero's lab, and Cell isn't going to be coming anytime soon, since there isn't a time machine to come back in, so no threat of Cell. Bardock would probably let Vegeta know about the androids, and Bulma would recognize one of them as Gero, and she would send some Saiyan troops to go raid his lab and destroy everything, which they would do, and there are no more androids around. This means that there won't be a future Trunks to come back, since there isn't a threat that forces time travel to become a thing, meaning there's only going to be one timeline here. With the androids out of the way, now there's time for more training, and another big time jump. And during this time too, Kakarot might still develop the heart virus, but I don't think that would be too big of a problem here. Mainly because since Kakarot's been training so much with Kami and Piccolo, and started showing symptoms, maybe they could just use the Dragon Balls to wish away the heart virus. Which is something I don't know why they didn't do in the future timeline, but you know, whatever. There are now many years of peace on Earth, and many Saiyans have mated with humans, and there are even more Saiyan hybrid children being born, making extremely powerful warriors, who train constantly to get even stronger. Prince Trunks has many friends and partners to train with, increasing his battle power greatly. Over the years, he has trained with his father and gained access to the Super Saiyan form. But even a form beyond that, Super Saiyan 2, which nobody knew existed, and Trunks is pretty proud of himself for learning that before anybody else. Gohan trains with his father and grandparents on occasion, and has gained access to the Super Saiyan God form through training with them. Though he really doesn't go out of his way to fight, as he doesn't see a need to. He's been doing a great job at becoming a scholar though, which is something he really has been wanting to do in his life. This very long time of peace would be interrupted by the Supreme Kai entering the scene and warning everybody about Majin Buu. Shin visits King Vegeta, asking him if he can send in his armies to help fight off Babidi and Dabura, and Vegeta, being the good king that he is, of course decides to help the Supreme Kai, and join him personally to prevent Buu's awakening. Vegeta, Shin, and Kibito go down to Babidi's ship, with Spopovich and Yamu still going back and delivering the energy they collected. Dabura comes up to kill Kibito, but Vegeta steps in the way and blocks his attack. Vegeta becomes a Super Saiyan and fires a Big Bang attack to wipe out Dabura with no difficulty. Vegeta then makes his way into the ship to take out Babidi, but is suddenly attacked by Yakan and Pui Pui, trying to slow Vegeta down. Shin and Kibito step in this time and easily wipe the two out, thanking Vegeta for saving them from Dabura, and now they're returning the favor. Vegeta thanks them too, and quickly makes his way to Babidi. Babidi rushed down to Buu's shell and inserted the energy in there in an attempt to awaken Buu, and surprisingly, it fills up all the way. Spopovich and Yamu managed to go and tap hundreds of people, and luckily for them, they were mostly Saiyan hybrids who had enormous energies. And since there were hundreds of them, the energy was enough to successfully awaken Majin Buu. Buu comes out of his shell and encounters Vegeta. Vegeta is confused on why Shin was so scared, as this chubby pink blob is nothing compared to him. Buu powers up, angry at the name-calling, and rushes Vegeta. Vegeta clashes with Buu, and unsurprisingly, Buu is getting thrown around by Vegeta, which is a great difference to what originally happened in canon. Plus, Vegeta is only in his Super Saiyan form right now, and still giving Buu so much trouble. His constant mockery of Demasian isn't really helping Buu's case either. Buu begins to explode in rage, and it eventually becomes so great that he splits in two, an evil and good Buu. The evil Buu looks around, smiling at the king, and then goes off to fight his good half. Vegeta just stares in confusion. Why are these two fighting each other? Vegeta appears in front of the two, stopping them from their battle, and throws them both to the ground. They are both weaker than the Buu he was originally fighting, so this takes no effort at all to keep them from each other. Vegeta asks Shin what he should do now. As there are now two Buus, should he just take out both of them? Shin yells at Vegeta to do it, as these two are much weaker than Buu was before, so now they can easily take them out and get this madness over with. Vegeta complies and launches a final flash at the two Buus, obliterating them completely, and stopping the threat. Babidi is in shock over this, and goes to escape, but Shin binds him, preventing him from escaping, as Capito lands the finishing blow. The Supreme Kai thanks Vegeta for all of his help, and if he ever wants to get stronger, he's more than welcome to come and train on his planet. Vegeta thinks about the offer, but decides to decline, as he's got his kingly duties on this planet, so he's going to stay here for now. But he knows of others who would most likely want to go, and they're even stronger than he is. Shin is pretty surprised to hear this, and asks Vegeta who they are. A short while later, Shin returns to his planet, with Kakarot, Bardock, Raditz, and Piccolo, ready to train them up as Kais. And that's the end of the Dragon Ball Z portion of this scenario. I know that the entirety of Dragon Ball Z was only one short episode, but I mean the first two arcs technically already happened, and the other two were cakewalks due to how powerful everybody was, so that's why it was only one episode. But hey, next episode we move on to the story of Dragon Ball Super, and we'll see how different that is going to go. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and until we meet again, see you later!